This morning, the coronavirus outbreak is now blamed for at least 195 deaths in our state. Nearly 5,000 others have been confirmed to have the virus. 92% of all tests are coming back negative. Still, the governor could decide to extend his stay home, stay healthy order, although no official extension has been announced. He is cracking down on those who refuse to stay home. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes. And now some good news. The Washington State Department of Health reports that hospitalizations for patients with COVID-19 symptoms is on the decline. The department tallied 193 admissions for a 7-day period, which ended Saturday, and that's compared with 251 from the previous week. The totals include information from 84% of hospital emergency rooms. Jake?
Mimi, there's a huge spike in the number of hate crimes reported right now in the Asian community because of coronavirus fears, even hundreds reported in a single week. King 5's Kiera Alfalin this morning is following this disturbing news. The police chief of Seattle has a message for these folks, right?
Yeah, she does have a message. So according to NBC, a Seattle woman was standing in line at a grocery store when she overheard another shopper say to her child that she couldn't be in the same line as a Korean American. So Asian Americans all across the country right now are feeling the sting of terms like Chinese virus. Proof of this, over 650 different acts of racism against Asian American communities in our country in just a week. Now I want to show you some video, this from Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best, and a face that you're familiar with seeing right here on King 5, Lori Matsukawa. Both have a clear message urging you to call 911 if you are a victim of a hate crime.
Hate crimes have no place in our community. We're better than that, Washington. We're all trying to deal with the COVID-19 public health crisis together.
We will document and investigate every reported hate crime. Even racist name-calling should be reported to police.
In that video, the Seattle police chief says any victims of hate crime should call 911. She says the police department takes this very, very seriously and will investigate all reported hate crimes. So if you want to see that full video and message in its entirety, I've shared that on my Facebook page. All you have to do is log on to Facebook and search me at Kiera Alfalin TV. I'm live here in Seattle, Kiera Alfalin, King 5 News.
Got to put an end to that. Thank you, Kiera. Well, Jade Garden in Seattle's Chinatown International District getting a little help cleaning up from recent vandalism. Last week, someone broke out a window and the restaurant had to board it up. So this week, local artists went to work painting these boards into this beautiful mural. Artists say they'll work on other businesses if the business owners want them to help too. Jade Garden still open for takeout and delivery, by the way. The family says it is so grateful for its customers and the support right now. In the meantime, though, a salon in Federal Way was trashed over the weekend. Sheer Magic Hair Design now has to worry about lost revenue and damages on top of the already struggling issues it's facing with the viral outbreak. Whoever broke in took hair products and equipment, including an iPad and styling tools.
It's like thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I mean, just product alone, not including our styling tools and all of that. I mean, it all adds up. It kind of takes a little bit of your heart when you're not able to, you know, work and help support your family, and it's hard.
Right now, Federal Way police do not have a suspect description to pass along this morning. Meen?
There is now an online complaint form where people can alert the state about businesses or individuals not complying with the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. The governor and state attorney general announced that those violating this emergency order could be found guilty of a gross misdemeanor. Complaints filed against businesses will go through the state regulator in charge of that particular business, and from there, agency personnel will reach out with the goal of getting voluntary compliance.
I don't want to have to use the powers of my office to hold accountable those who intentionally violate the governor's emergency orders. But I want to be very clear, if necessary, I will.
Law enforcement will get involved with businesses that do not comply. To report businesses that are in violation, text the word REPORT to 206-448-4545 and we'll send you a link to that form. An exclusive King 5 News poll shows how people across the state are reacting to this coronavirus crisis. New numbers show 41% strongly approve of the job that President Trump is doing, while 52% disapprove or strongly disapprove. We asked the same question about Governor Jay Inslee. He has more support. 67% strongly approve or approve of his job so far, while just a quarter do not.
Mimi, CNBC is reporting the first death of a military member because of coronavirus. The patient served in the New Jersey Army National Guard and was hospitalized on March 21st and died a week later. No word on that person's identity or whether they had any underlying health conditions. Also, big companies are pitching in now to address a shortage of supplies as we enter now a critical stage in the coronavirus fight. Tracy Potts gets us up to speed.
With the coronavirus now expected to peak by Easter, corporate America is ramping up production. Ford and General Electric are working together to make 50,000 ventilators in the next 3 months. Other companies are converting assembly lines to produce masks.
By Friday, I want to be up to 50,000 a day.
Hospital gowns.
Expect to begin delivering 30 to 50,000 gowns per week.
Face shields.
10,000 shields in the next 4 weeks.
On a call, governors requested more test kits, but President Trump said he hasn't heard about testing problems in weeks. He's setting June 1st as a new deadline for recovery.
The economy is number 2 on my list. I think the economy is going to come back very fast. We basically shut down our country.
30 states have issued stay-home orders.
We really need to start talking about this issue of everybody wearing a mask.
Around the country, temporary hospitals set up in New York's Central Park and the LA Convention Center. A Florida pastor arrested for holding services outdoors, and anguish.
My rent is due this week.
I'm the only income, and how am I going to provide for my child?
But my grandmother died alone. She died alone. We didn't even get to say bye to her.
Americans dealing with the very real impact of this deadly virus. The U.S. has now tested more than 1 million people, and more than 400 nursing homes and long-term care facilities are reporting cases. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
A Navy ship that's now in New York City could start taking patients today. The USNS Comfort arrived yesterday morning. It will serve non-coronavirus patients, offering 1,000 new beds and 12 operating rooms. Also in New York City today, a hospital set up at Central Park will open. This hospital will treat coronavirus patients. New York is one of the hardest hit cities in the U.S., with more than 33,000 confirmed cases of the virus, including 776 deaths. Mimi.
Right now, doctors are using every resource at their disposal to try and tackle coronavirus, even virtual reality. Bruce LaShawn shows us how one hospital is going inside a patient's lungs to understand how this virus works.
So as a healthcare provider, this is very important for me. It is very striking to see the various areas of infected tissue.
2 decades in lung surgery, and Dr. Keith Mortman says he was still shocked to see the new coronavirus rampaging through the lungs of a local man in his 50s who is struggling to survive.
Everything in yellow is abnormal. So the thing that's very startling is you can see how this is not confined to any one part of the lung. This affects both lungs, and it affects each lung diffusely, all different parts.
Working with Dr. Mortman, a California company called Surgical Theater took images from a CT scan of the man's chest and created a virtual reality fly-through that allows all of us to see how the virus can infect your airways and your immune system can flare up to try and fight it.
And it's really those two together that really why these patients are presenting with progressive shortness of breath, why some of them need to be intubated and placed on a ventilator. And those symptoms are what we're seeing are coming on very rapidly. We're still hearing, well, it's like the flu or it's like a pneumonia, and it's really not. It's nothing like either one of those.
What benefit is this medically for a COVID-19 patient?
Well, it remains to be seen, in all honesty. I mean, certainly on the healthcare provider aspect, it allows us to take a much better look at the process And that's really what I found most startling when I saw these pictures and saw this video for the first time.
Dr. Mordman hopes the rest of us will see the video and understand why all of us need to do everything we can to slow the pandemic and save lives.